go. What's up, guys? Welcome to our first edition of our Dynasty Sophomore Spotlight Series here at Masters Fantasy Football, the place to play Dynasty Fantasy Football. So yeah, kind of the name says it all, but we know you've seen our rookie spotlights where we talk about all the rookies. We did that in length, talked about a lot of them.
Yes.
But now it's time for our sophomore Spotlight Series, and it's as simple as that. We're going to highlight some of the players coming to year two. Some of them had good rookie seasons. Some of them already getting that bust label, but we're going to break it down. We're going to tell you about the rookie year, tell you about how we're feeling going into year two, kind of evaluate their dynasty value right now, and then also their redraft value, because redraft leagues are coming up, and what better way to just kind of get a full comprehensive fantasy value than one of these shows where we talk about specific guys. So
absolutely.
First up on our list, Jeudy.
Jeudy.
Really his rookie year, I didn't think was as bad as it seemed. Feel like he got a lot of heat during his rookie year. And it's mainly because the expectations were so high, and then guys like Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb exceeded their expectations, where Jeudy didn't quite hit them, but not an awful rookie year. I think 50-some catches, 850-ish yards, and only 3 touchdowns. So the fantasy numbers weren't great, but it wasn't long ago where we didn't expect much out of rookies, but we got higher standards now. So.
Yeah, where Jeudy kind of got screwed over here was the fact that Sutton was out the entire season, because not only did that hurt him where he had to carry a bigger load, but he was also expected to do a lot more because he was the lone guy getting a lot of the targets in a lot of people's eyes. Didn't really work out that way, but like Alec mentioned, not quite a bad season, not what you would have expected or wanted, but it wasn't too bad. He had some issues with drops, but it was just a weird season. There was a game where he had Kendall Hinton throwing him the ball.
Right,
so it wasn't like the perfect way to describe Jerry Jeudy. Sure. There's a lot of stuff that we still need to see from him. I don't think we can put all our eggs in that first year stunk basket. So, I got a lot of faith in Jerry Jeudy going forward. I will just say that. And I expect a big year, too. So even with Cortland Sutton back, I feel like he's going to have a better season than he did a year ago when he was kind of the only guy there with guys like Tim Patrick and others. But, yeah, what do you think now? What do you think for his 2021 season?
So I got to be honest, and we'll get into the dynasty value kind of next. Right. I'm still really optimistic dynasty value. This year I'm still a little worried, and that's just because, we're talking about Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. I was really hoping they'd pull off a move for Aaron Rodgers, and it's not too late. Like, if all of a sudden if Aaron Rodgers were there, I'd be loving Jerry Jeudy this year.
Yeah, that's
all true. That being said, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be better than his rookie year. But do I think he's going to... So in redraft, I guess, I don't want to jump around our usual sheet too much here. I'm feeling good about the player, okay about the situation going to year two. So yeah, I'll just hop right into dynasty value kind of, because I feel like, this is a guy, 5-star recruit coming out of high school, goes to Alabama his sophomore year, won the Blitnikoff Award.
I'm pretty sure he won 2, right?
Huh?
I think he won 2.
His junior year, did he win it too?
I think he did.
So, regardless, upper echelon recruit, put up amazing numbers at Alabama, won tons of awards, consensus All-Americans, you name it. Polished player, does it all, got everything right. Reminds me a lot of Amari Cooper, especially, Amari Cooper had the drops early on, and people, the Derek Carr situation had its up and downs, and people were ready to write off Amari Cooper too soon, and kind of same thing. Now, I know Amari Cooper has never been, an elite wide receiver one, really, but he's always been a really good receiver. Anytime he's on the field, he's a guy you want on your dynasty roster. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be in that same category, even though I'm a little, this current year, I'm a little worried, so I'm not loving him in redraft. But dynasty, I'm still all over Jerry Jeudy. I'm trading for him where I can. I wouldn't be afraid to go give up a future first to get him. He was going in first round last year, and I don't think his value should have tanked at all based on what he did as a rookie.
Yes, I would agree. He's only won 1 Blitnikoff. I was wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, I totally agree with you there, Al. Jerry Judy's a guy that, the talent's there. The talent is there, and it was an underwhelming season. But, this is Dynasty. This is what it's all about. To get a guy like a Jerry Jeudy, the situation's not great, but it can really only get better from where it's at.
Exactly.
If you think about what he's got to work with right now. So that's a big thing that sticks out to me. I like the Amari Cooper comparison.
A lot of parallels there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah. One other like little fact I've been seeing, little stat out there, which does make me more optimistic for this coming year. Well, in some ways you can say that it won't change much, but
yeah.
this unrealized air yard stat where basically it's just amount of yards on incomplete passes. So like long story short, he got a ton of deep targets, but just they weren't catchable balls. And so if whether it's Drew Lock or Bridgewater or hopefully a guy like Aaron Rodgers, if they can just hit him on those passes, his yards would have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
All that being said, you could make the case, well, yeah, Drew Lock still is quarterback, so there's still going to be a lot of uncatchable deep targets.
Yeah.
But
he also did have some, like, a lot of focus drops, too.
True, yeah.
He had that one game where he dropped a ton of balls. And
we saw that a lot out of Amari Cooper when he was young. Yeah,
So, I mean, the numbers, I mean, if you bring that into your mind, too, like, the numbers start to look even better. I mean, the touchdowns are still low, but
and
if
the
he
touchdowns
catches,
are
like,
just
half those... I mean, he's over 1,000 yards as a rookie.
Right, for sure.
So, I mean...
And touchdowns just kind of come and go year and year. I mean, I know there's, like Julio's never been a guy who's never scored a lot of touchdowns. But for the most part, I mean, a guy scores 3 touchdowns one year, 7 the next year, down to 5, up to 9. Like, touchdowns fluctuate a lot year to year. So I don't think, there's no reason to think he can't put up 10 touchdowns in a year.
Yeah, I think 3's low. I mean, like... But I could see him doing 3 again.
Right.
Because you're bringing back, you're bringing back Cortland Sutton, who's a big body. Like, red zone, he's going to be a guy they look for over Jeudy. Yeah, Fant's another one. Like, they've got plenty of options. But, I mean, I still expect him, like, if he gets 3 touchdowns, at least the receptions and the yards will go up as well. And then, I mean, from there, it's just wait till he gets a better quarterback.
Yeah. Sorry, kind of going off script here, but let's do 2 things. Like we did on our rookie series, we'd kind of try and name players in Dynasty who we'd trade, and then we'll also do a little redraft spin. So we'll name a guy just for a redraft league who you drafting first.
Okay.
So let's start with Dynasty.
Sure.
We're making these trades today. Who cares about the past? You're looking from this year on to their future. I'm gonna go real kind of hot take.
Oh.
Just not really hot take, but Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy right now and for the future. Who'd you rather have?
I saw a thing the other day that Amari Cooper was actually I think he was a top 5 receiver before Dak got hurt last year.
Was he? I feel like Amari Cooper's being slept on.
Maybe he was like top 5 in targets or something. I don't know. It was something like he was really, really good before Dak got hurt. That being said, 2 younger receivers there.
Mm-hmm.
His contract, like you've mentioned before, has a lot of outs.
Yeah.
I still think right now I take Cooper.
Ooh, okay. I actually think I'd go Jeudy.
It's close. It's very close.
Yeah.
But I think just like situation and all those things, I don't know. I still think I take Cooper at this point in time, but it's very close.
Yeah. I think Cooper is kind of really underrated because, the presence of CD and stuff. People have kind of gotten off the Cooper train. All that being said, though, just based on the fact that I really believe Jerry Judy's kind of the next Amari Cooper and he's younger, I want the younger guy in Dynasty, but, I expect Cooper to have a better year for the next year or 2. Yeah. What about, this might be too easy based on your answer for that one, but Keenan Allen. Would you go Keenan Allen then, too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you'd go Jeudy.
I think I'd take Jeudy there.
Okay. I like it. Yeah.
Keenan Allen's a little older.
He is a little older. I just think he might be a little better the next year, too, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I always go back to, his quarterbacks stink. Jerry Judy's quarterbacks are not good.
Right. If Aaron Rodgers was there, whew.
These would be definite yeses for me. I'd probably, I don't even know what I'd give if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback at Denver. I'd give a lot to get Jerry Jeudy. I really think I'd sell everything.
Yeah, sell your soul.
Maybe. Yeah, it's up in the air.
All right, so now let's go redraft value.
Okay.
So redraft league. Trying to think of a veteran receiver where maybe you're on the clock. I don't know what round.
Brandon Cooks.
Ooh. So in redraft, I'll still go Cooks. I'll go Mr. 1,000 yards. We don't really know who's going to be playing quarterback there, which actually really interesting because we're already to almost middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
No suspensions really happened yet, but also no one's expecting Deshaun Watson to play.
Yeah.
Also, he demanded a trade.
Yeah. Also, he's pretty much.
I think Deshaun Watson's probably not playing, but I still think I'd take Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I mean, paired with Tyrod Taylor, how could I say no?
Yeah.
And Davis Mills.
All right.
I also think I would take Brandon Cooks, though.
All right, so one more veteran to round us out here. All right, I got one. Jarvis Landry.
Man, That's tough because you know how I feel about Jarvis, especially in redraft.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Jarvis.
Me too.
I still think he's the Browns' #1 fantasy receiver this year, and I think Odell being back is huge for him.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that I think Jeudy's not going to take that big jump this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he'll do better, but I don't think he's going to shock the world and burst onto the scene. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think, redraft, I still take Jarvis.
Yeah, I agree, and it's really all I got kind of summarizing my thoughts on Jerry Jeudy. I thought his rookie year was decent, better than people give him credit for. All that being said, not super optimistic about year 2, but really like him long term, not worried about him at all. Definitely not selling him if I have him, and I'm buying him where I can, but just not expecting a ton this year because I don't think the quarterback situation is much better this year.
Yeah, the quarterback situation is scary, but that can easily be upgraded, and this is where it's a good time to go get Jeudy because, say, I don't know, not even this year, but if Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, whoever plays for Denver, if they both have bad years, Denver's going to find a new quarterback, whether it's a veteran or they're drafting one, it's going to happen. Yeah. So with that in mind, I feel even better about Judy's prospects. Yeah. But that's why I'd rather trade for him now when he's worth next to nothing versus a year from now when maybe they end up landing Aaron Rodgers then.
Yeah, and I 100%.
Or even in a couple weeks.
And I 100% would go get him now. I do think if I was guessing when his value will be at like an all-time low, maybe like around week 5 this year. Go get him.
This year, I should say.
When Drew Lock's still, stinking it up, they're switching to Teddy Bridgewater, and then you get him.
And I also think that's realistic too because Cortland Sutton coming off a big injury like that, I think it's going to take a little while for him to get back into the flow of things. So I still think even though he'll be on the field, it's not going to help Jeudy as much as it will once Cortland Sutton's back. Yeah. So if that makes any sense. But yeah, Jerry Jeudy, him a lot. Go get him.
Yep,
go get him now, quickly, before or wait.
Or now.
See, that's
the
thing. Yeah, I mean, you got to play with it because there's a chance. What if Aaron Rodgers gets traded to them tomorrow? You could have traded for him tonight for nothing.
Kind of like Dogecoin,
Yeah, exactly.
You just don't know. You think it's going to go back up. You think it's going to go back down. You don't know.
Yeah, so
what
keep
if Aaron
buying
Rodgers
in.
goes there?
I keep buying in on Jerry Jeudy, having faith that they're just going to get a good quarterback. But very similar to Doge, I'm just kind of sitting here.
Yeah.
Not really a whole lot of
values going down.
Good, not a lot of good coming from these things. So, but yeah. Something to think about. He's probably very gettable in most of your leagues. So it's go scoop him.
All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for listening, Doc. Anything to close us out?
Yeah, I'll just say Masters Fantasy Football Leagues, the #1 destination for Dynasty Fantasy Football, which is the best way to play. You've heard us do millions of videos talking about Dynasty Fantasy Football, so you probably know that already. But if you don't, sign up for a league. I mean, it's like I said, best way to play. It's a completely different way to play if all you're used to is redraft, and we kind of specialize in that thing. So there's no other place that you could really get that kind of great Dynasty experience other than here. So come join that Masters family with me and Al here. And as always, leave a comment, pop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And let us know. What do you think Jerry Jeudy's going to do this year? Let's get some predictions in there. Real quick before we leave, what do you think? Numbers wise, just quick prediction.
Quick stats. I'm going to say 65 receptions, 925 yards, 5 touchdowns.
I'll say 78, 974, 5 touchdowns.
Love it.
Very specific.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks for listening. Boom.